I'm trying to release inside government documents so you know how decisions are made. We have to have a strong Open Records Act in the state legislature and the governor's office. I'll tell you, it does not always make me popular to tell to my colleagues, don't you want your emails released to public scrutiny? But it's the right thing to do. And I've taken on some of the biggest issues in the Michigan legislature long before they were popular, and we won all of them. First, I'll start with gun safety. I was in grade school during Columbine. I was in college during Virginia Tech. I go to bars like Pulse nightclub. I go to a synagogue like Tree of Life. It felt like these instances of mass shootings followed me as I was coming of age. So by the time that I was elected to the legislature, it was common sense for a handful of us to start the first ever gun violence prevention caucus in the legislature to put forward solutions to mitigate these crises in our communities. I'll tell you, it was not popular amongst Democratic leadership even. They told us, don't talk about gun control. We'll lose gun owners. We'll lose rural voters. Well, gun owners and rural voters also don't want to be shot when they're going to church, when they're going to the mall, when they're going to a restaurant. And so sadly, every instance of a mass shooting made the case for our legislation. In 2022, we finally elected a gun safety majority in the Michigan legislature. And we passed the first gun safety bills in a generation that are saving lives. I'm also the first LGBTQ person to serve in the Michigan Senate. And for 40 years, we've been talking about civil rights and equal access and non-discrimination. We have a strong civil rights law here in the state of Michigan that prevents discrimination on a number of categories that you would expect, like race and sex and age and religion and ethnicity, but did not include sexual orientation and gender identity. And so for years, gay and trans people were kicked out of Michigan's economy as workers and consumers just because of who they are and how they identify. So finally, pushing forward on this issue to put sexual orientation and gender identity as protected classes in the law, I sponsored the bill when we finally got a pro-equality majority in the legislature, and now LGBTQ rights are protected in Michigan civil rights. And I've led in the state of Michigan on voting rights. I chair the elections committee. But before that, I served in the minority in 2020 in the legislature, where people came to the Capitol often armed to protest our election. You can draw a direct line from the Stop the Count movement in Detroit that they tried to throw out lawfully cast votes in Detroit and draw that line right to January 6th. There's a connection there. And so we pushed back against the conspiracy theories. We stood up to Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani here in the state of Michigan. When I took over as chair of the elections committee, with a ballot proposal that you passed, I wrote the law that implemented 9 days of in-person early voting here in the state of Michigan and increased access to mail-in voting, which we all utilize today. I believe this issue of voting rights is this moment that we have to stand up and be active. Voting rights secure all these other rights. You know that, and so does Donald Trump. So in this moment where everything is on the line, and I've become a master of voting rights laws and election laws here in the state of Michigan, I'm ready to go to Congress, confront the SAVE Act, pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, and stop Donald Trump from federalizing our election. I think we need to send a tested and trusted leader to represent us in this moment. I am ready to confront this chaos head on. I am just alarmed and just shocked by what is going on in our country right now. I think the thing that has pained me the most, and I'm sure many of you agree, is what's going on with immigration enforcement. It is immoral, it is illegal, it is shameful. In the state legislature, I've led on these issues. I sponsored the bill in the legislature along with other colleagues to prevent ICE from wearing masks for the purpose of concealing their identity, because we need transparency in our law enforcement. We also have legislation moving through the state Senate that would secure safe places from unlawful, unwarranted immigration raids, like places of worship, like schools, like courthouses, like hospitals. I'm ready to go to Congress. I won't vote for 1 penny to go to the Department of Homeland Security from keeping this agency operating. There is no repair and no reform of ICE under Donald Trump. The agency must be dismantled. And I'm ready to confront and hopefully with a Democratic majority overturn the most devastating economic and health effects of that horrible, ugly bill. This is a moment for us to gather together in our congressional district and send a true fighter with a tested record to Congress. But that is not enough. We have to really strengthen and embolden our party. We have to be bolder and tougher and stronger. We can no longer be a party that shows up to the knife fight carrying a pie chart. This is a moment for a new generation of leaders to step up that has fed up with the bullshit that's going on in our country and knows that we need a stronger party to confront that. I want to marinate on the story that Carl told you. So it was around this time last year that the Republicans took over the Michigan House of Representatives, breaking up our Democratic trifecta. And one of the first things that they pushed forward was not lowering costs or building infrastructure, things that actually you talk about at your kitchen table. It was to put forward a resolution to overturn marriage equality here in the state of Michigan. That was their priority. That's what they thought everybody voted on in 2024. And so this really weird, insane conservative state legislator out of Oxford, Josh Shriver, was hosting a press conference to unveil his, I like this. So he was holding a press conference to unveil his legislation to overturn marriage equality. And again, as I said, I'm the only and first LGBTQ member of the Michigan Senate. So, I thought, do I write a letter to the editor? Do I come up with a graphic of a strongly worded statement? I said, no, I'm going to show up to the press conference. So I walked in the room, and it was in the Republican press conference room, and they all kind of turned their heads at me. And I sat in the front row, and I crossed my legs, and I crossed my arms, just waiting to hear what he was going to say. Because if you're going to talk about me, you're going to say it right to my face. So I sat down. He was nose to nose with me because I pulled up my chair as close to the podium, almost like this right here. And he stammered out his speech that he had prepared. And at a press conference, he ended his remarks by saying, and I'm not taking any questions. And he scurried out of the room. Never let an opportunity go to waste. So turn around, there are all these cameras, there's an empty podium right in front of me. And I said, I'll take questions. And I held the press conference myself and really confronted his buffoonery head on. And commandeered the moment. By the time I got back to my office, it had already gone viral. And we had emails from my office from Seattle to Pittsburgh, because this was at the beginning of the Trump administration, the second term. And people said, this is the way forward. And so I did it because my heart and my feet took me into this room. But I did it really on behalf of all of us who need to show up in the rooms where decisions about us are being made. Because if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So we're about 3 months away from this primary. This is the open Haley Stevens seat that we all live in. I'm very excited to be running this campaign with this type of energy, buoyed by so much support from the district. We're running in a very wide lane. I'm endorsed by Governor Whitmer, Jocelyn Benson, Dana Nessel. We're endorsed by gun safety advocates like Gabby Gifford's PAC. We're endorsed by a variety of unions who know we've stood up for the working class, including electrical workers, sheet metal workers, teamsters, carpenters, laborers, and we have a few more big announcements coming this week. And endorsed by LGBTQ groups, because it's time to break this barrier as well and send the first LGBTQ voice from Michigan to Congress. Carl is giving me the signal. So I'll wrap it up there, but you're going to hear a lot about this race over the next several months, and I'd appreciate your support as well. Yeah, we can take questions. I'm very good at taking questions from podiums. I chaired the committee where this proposal came through, and during the 2-week period where it was in debate in our committee, every restaurant I went to, I asked restaurant workers, servers, what do you think of this? And there was a variety of responses, but most of them were like, there's already a war on tips. Why are you adding one more layer to make it so it might be, someone might not consider giving us a full tip at the end of the meal? That's what guided my decision, talking to people in our community. On money in politics, there's way too much money in politics. It has such a corrosive influence on what we do. That's why I'm trying to release more records from the legislature so you know who your lawmaker met with, you know who your lawmaker emailed, so you can better understand the decisions, the influence that might impact some of the decisions that come out of Lansing, and I want to take that same energy to Congress. I've actually sponsored a resolution in the Michigan legislature to compel Congress to pass an amendment to the Constitution to overturn the Citizens United decision, which is, I think, exactly what we need to do. So, as chair of the ethics committee, I've been leading the charge for more exposure of how some of these decisions from government come about.
So are you ready to release all money that you've gotten from other outsources?
Yep, every single dollar that I have received in this campaign is for public vetting. Every single dollar can be traced back to an individual contributor. I think we should strengthen campaign finance. I think, I'll tell you this, which is crazy. Every year, the maximum amount that somebody can donate to a campaign increases year over year over year over year. About 12 years ago, when one of the Oakland County Congressional seats was open, the leading candidates raised about $500,000 to compete in that race. We have to raise over $1 million. I mean, these races are getting so much more and more expensive. I think we should cap the amount of a maximum donation to these races and have more campaign finance reform to limit the amount of money in our politics.
That you took money from a PAC?
I've taken money, but from PACs, including union PACs, including advocate PACs for gun safety. Every single PAC dollar is traceable to an individual donor. Every single one of them. I'll tell you, there's also accounts in Lansing called corporate accounts, where there's the kind of dark money account that's not traceable, that's not released. I think and Natalie knows this, I think I'm the only legislative leader, Republican or Democrat, in the House and the Senate that does not have any corporate vehicle, any corporate money through one of these corporate vehicles, because I believe in transparency, and you should know where every single dollar that comes to my campaign, where it comes from. Natalie seconds that.
I'd love to say something about both of those points. So Natalie Price, state representative for Royal Oak, and I am endorsing Jeremy partly because of his answers on two of these things. That first one, that vote, we were on the opposite side of that vote. I voted against it, he voted for it. Jeremy has me do a community conversation with him every month in Southfield in front of, I have a little bit of Southfield in my district, he has all of Southfield in his district. And he brings me and Sam Steckloff and Jason Hoskins in the library in front of all of his constituents, and we talk about these things. And we might not agree on everything, but I have an incredible amount of respect for the thought and the care and the attention and the reasoning that he puts into his decision. So I wanted to share that with you. Even though we disagree, I'm grateful for his approach with these complex, difficult issues. The other thing related to the taking PAC money, I just want to highlight that. Jeremy does not have a C4, which is rare in Lansing. I also do not have a C4. And when I was going around the Lansing lobbyists saying I wanted to run for state senate, they said, how can you expect us to take us seriously if you're not going to open up a C4? And I said, Jeremy Moss didn't either. He is the president pro tem of the Senate. Leave me alone and know that I'm doing the right thing for my voters, for my district, and I've got a good role model. So I'm only just.
Yeah. I'll be here. Yeah. Right. Thanks, Carl. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Johnny. Mason is going to tell us about it.
Just wanted to thank the volunteers who manned our table. Would you please stand up? Ellie was at the table. Deb was at the table. Where's Dave? Dave's left. All of you who volunteered to thank Charlie. Where's Charlie? Charlie's not standing up. we had great volunteers, and we can't do these things without your help and assistance. So thanks for coming out on a Saturday afternoon. And we learned one thing really clearly, that to get people to come and talk with us and be engaged, you have to have things to give away. So thank you, Charlie, for the coffee gift cards and our game wheel that we use to attract people to the table. It's a way to start a conversation, get people engaged in learning about democratic values. So thank you to our volunteers, and especially for our gift cards and our wheel that gets people drawn in.
Thank you, Lisa. Was anybody here that went to our On Tyranny talks we had, what was that, 2 years ago now? So the On Tyranny, we asked people to read the book, and then we had a meeting, and we talked about the actual steps that On Tyranny talks about. So the next book that we were going to do something about, it's called From Dictatorship to Democracy. It's actually where we are right now. It's a great book written by Gene Sharp. Eric's going to tell us a little bit about it. 1 minute. Go ahead.
All right, so the book is From Dictatorship to Democracy, came out about 10 years ago. So the goal is we're going to have a discussion and a workshop. We did this with Tim Snyder's book. It was really good. Tim Snyder's book's more of a diagnosis. This is actually more of a playbook. It actually lists 200 different things you can do outside of like just voting to help. So again, everyone's invited. We're looking kind of mid-June in the Royal Oak area. Last time we did it at the community center by Campbell and Lincoln. So kind of something along that line, but all sorts of different things you can do. So, I guess to put it one way, you can protest, but then what's next, right? And this book provides the what next. So we're going to do a little community workshop, and it's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it. So again, From Dictatorship to Democracy, read the book. If you don't, I'll do a summary, and then we're going to have a good discussion. All right, thank you.
So really what we're telling you is get the book now, because I don't know how fast you read, but we're going to do a meeting. We're going to do it sometime in June. So you get to know the book, and we'll go from there. The book, I tell you what, on our email, I'll put out a link to get the book. This is, yes, ask for Amazon drone. I bought up the last two used ones I found online, but you can get the book, I think, for 17. Yep, yeah. Or Goodreads, or there's a bunch of Barnes and Noble. Yes, Books A Million. Yes, bookstore. Yes, Sidetrack Bookstore. Support local. All right. I don't know if you guys know it, but we actually have a couple bonds coming up this November. And here to talk about one of them is the Royal Oak School Bond. So welcome, Cameron Bayless.
Good morning, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Cameron. I'm an intern for this club, but I'm also a senior at Royal Oak High School and a student representative to our school board. Our school board allows students to be representatives to advocate on a student's behalf for their decisions. So we, as a body, have been involved in these conversations of a new bond. And I just like to mention some of the stats and what's going on with this bond. So what's happening is that our current bond is ending soon for money that we can have for various different purposes. We are applying for a new one with the public. And the intention is to be 15 years and no increase to your current millage rate, 2.2 mils. There would be no increase, so your taxes do not go up regarding this from our side. And our current one expires this summer, and we are pushing for it in August. All the money, we've had many meetings about this, public and within our own body. All this money is going to be going for infrastructural purposes in our buildings and increased security purposes. Some of the changes that I can advocate for at our high school is our career and tech engineering places. We have a certain teacher that heads our videography stuff, video production, and film studies units. He currently commandeers 3 mangled classrooms that are supposed to be a studio. And we're going to be moving him into a bigger space that is more accommodating to his needs, which is to video produce. So that is some of the things that this bond is trying to go for and what the intentions are. We addressed the public with 2 different public bond meetings and had a bond committee formed with our board. And we had many discussions regarding where and which schools this goes allocated to. The teacher union, ROEA, has been very involved. They've been involved in every meeting so far, as to my knowledge. They were involved in every meeting and every decision up to this point, which is just us advocating for this bond for you guys to vote for it. There's been heavy student input. I can safely attest to that. I'm sure Owen back there can attest to that, that we've been in every finance and facilities meeting and have heard all of the projections and put our input to what we would like to see regarding this money. The reason for the introduction now is that this is an August vote. I'm sure all of you guys know, August 4th is the primary. We are also having our election on August 4th. So the bond's going to be up for election on the August 4th ballot. There's no tax increase, and all this money goes towards infrastructural upgrades to all 7 of our buildings. And with that, I know Lauren, one of our school board members, has passed out some flyers. And if you have any questions, I'd like to direct you to our school board members that are here. And yeah, that's kind of it.
All right. On the August ballot?
August 4th. August 4th.
All right.
Oh, okay, well, now hold on a second. So, stay here. So we'd like to endorse this, and I apologize. It's my miss. I should have thought about this earlier, but we would like to endorse it today because we want to be able to get the club's endorsement on it so that we can get advertising to get this thing passed in Royal Oak. So normally I have to get you guys the language on this, wait 30 days, and then we take a vote. So what I'd like to do is suspend the rules and take a vote today to endorse it today. I'm also going to give you a warning while we're speaking about it. The county also has a bond issue coming up. It's also having to do with schools. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a 30-day notice so we can vote on that properly in the June meeting. I'm going to put it in our next email so that you guys can see it. So we'll talk about that in an email. But right now, I would like to talk about suspending the rules so that we can go ahead and endorse today. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules? Lisa, you got that? Moved by Dave. And second, who seconded it? Jill Martinez. Okay. We have discussion. Go ahead, Dave.
Quick, I'd like to say to everybody, remember this, the federal government's not going to fund our schools. Our schools are going to fund our schools. It is coming down to us in our communities to take care of our schools, to take care of our seniors, to take care of our health care. All politics are local. Nobody's coming to save us. All right? So get active, get involved, stay involved, right here in town.
Dave, the president. Owen, question or discussion?
I just want to say this is also a no tax-free millage, so the taxpayer is not having to pay any more, and schools are getting more money. So this is basically a win-win for both the taxpayer and the school district.
Any more discussion?
Also, people want to live where the schools are good, where the libraries are good. We want this community to thrive. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, but if we don't have great schools, people don't want to live here.
Very true, very true. Any more discussion? I will close discussion. I'm going to bring it to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those not in favor say nay. All right, so this club now endorses the Royal Oak bond issue. All right, high schoolers, come on up. So our Royal Oak High School Club is just going to update us on what they've been up to. So come on up, guys. Give us a quick 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, so make sure know what you guys have been up to. Tell us how the snacks are going.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep it quick because we have been busy today. There's not much of an update that we have for you all. The seniors are graduating on, well, I don't know when they're graduating. I can't remember the date. 18th, May 18th. So he's leaving me soon. But we've been chugging along, continuing our meetings. Spring sports have started up, so meeting attendance has dipped a little bit with everybody being in track and spring sports. But we're still moving along, going as usual. The ROADC is funding our weekly meeting snacks, and those have been a hit. And I'm going to pass it over to Cameron for his last as a student. Tell us about what you're doing after.
What am I doing? What am I doing after high school? So thanks to the lovely county, or in the state, I get to go to OCC for free for 2 years, tuition free. That is my current plan. Go to OCC, get my associates in general arts, and then I'm going to transfer and major in history. So that is the idea.
So wait, tell them what kind of snacks we're having.
What kind of snacks?
What kind of
snacks? All right, so I've been asking Carl every week for money, every couple of weeks. I go out and purchase the snacks. We've had Milano cookies. We've had Sour Patch Kids. Yeah. We have. I brought Twizzlers one week. I brought. Some other people actually started bringing snacks too at certain times. So one of our freshmen, he brought a bunch of stuff from Trader Joe's. A bunch of random chips and knickknacks. So we've been having those every week. So that's where the money goes, is towards our Sour Patch Kids. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Those are some expensive Twizzlers, I'll tell you that. Really quick, Deb, can you give a real quick summary on our treasury, please?
In our checking account, we have $6,565.25. The internship fund is $785, and Royal Oak Rising has $111. And remember, we have about a week and a half left to get money out of politics. William has the petitions in case you haven't signed. You need to sign in case you signed before Thanksgiving. You need to re-sign again. Another one over there too. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Deb. Now, by the way, speaking about our intern, Cameron, he's going to give us a summary because his internship ends next month on the 15th. He's going to give us a little summary on how our youth summit went, how we can improve this club, and how we can get more youth engaged in the club. Here to talk about precinct delegates again is William.
Hi. I'm William Asher, the precinct delegate liaison for the club. And I've been recruiting precinct delegates at these meetings for a long time. And I think I may have been shooting myself in the foot at some points by emphasizing how much hard work it requires to be a precinct delegate. People hear that and get probably a little bit taken aback. It's been suggested that if you're a Democrat, if you can breathe, and if you're in this room, that and I think you all satisfy that, I believe, unless there's some intruders. You need to sign up to be a precinct delegate, and you don't have to do anything. If you do something, you do connect with your neighbors. That's wonderful, and that's going to help democracy survive. But if you can't and just fill up the slot on the ballot, that'll be great. A lot of clubs fill up all their slots. Let me just tell you briefly, just take a moment. There's 15 precincts in Royal Oak, and there's 4 precincts in Clawson. And precinct 1 in Clawson has 0 volunteers. 2 has 0, 3 has 0. Precinct 4 in Clawson has 1 volunteer. Penny Luebs, thank you. Now, I'm going to give you the brief. Oh, okay. Well, actually, I should have said that these numbers are based on the affidavits I received earlier today, not the ones that have come in. Oh, also, if some precinct delegates have turned the affidavits directly into the clerk, I don't know about them either yet. Okay, so there might be some. Good point. There might be some that I don't have here, but Royal Oak Precinct 1 has 6 vacancies, Precinct 2 has 6 vacancies, Precinct 3 has 11. I won't go through them all, but there's a lot of vacancies throughout the city, except for one. Precinct 12 has 1 extra person. So there's going to be a competitive election on August 4th. And let me see, there's 5 vacancies, not vacancies, there's 5 positions of 6 people. So we have a robust election. You'll have to have a debate with your neighbors. But anyway, if you're here, if you're a Democrat, and if you can breathe, please go see Tom over there. Raise your hand, Tom. and sign an affidavit. I will bring it to the county clerk's office on Monday.
The 5th is the last day you can apply.
Yes, it is.
5th of May, all affidavits must be submitted.
That's Tuesday. Yeah. I'll bring it.
Tim Clary, if you're still here, I got a missing slide on your application.
Yeah.
Also, David Richards and Wesley Ward, if you're here, please come see me.
Right behind you.
Oh, good. Yeah, there were some errors on the sheets, and we've been connecting with people and getting them fixed.
One question.
Yes, sir.
Do the applications have to go to the county?
They go to the county clerk, yeah. And I can bring them there. Not the city, right. Yeah.
And as a precinct delegate in the 2nd Royal Oak, I would appreciate your vote.
Yeah. Everybody vote for David Pardo.
Thank you, William. And then those who have put in their application, you can go to the county clerk's website and you can find out whether they have it and you're registered to be voted on the August ballot. All right, we are going to get into elected official reports, and we all want to get out of here at noon. So we're going to go through elected officials. Every person who comes up here gets 1 minute to speak. So if you come up as a board, you each get 1 minute. So we go federal, state, county, city, school. So elected officials, federal and state, come on up. Looks like we have Natalie Price. Come on up, Natalie Price.
One minute to describe everything going on in Lansing. Well, last time I was here, I told you we were doing the Republican sham budget, right? I'm in the House where we got Matt Hall modeling his behavior on Trump. I saw their subcommittee budgets 3 weeks ago. They came through my subcommittees on Eagle, environmental protections, and public health. And it was very clear that the committee chairs, the Republicans, had only received them the night before. In public health, I talked to Chair Green, the things that he told me he was advocating for, I used Control Fine like the best of them. None of them were in there, and I pointed this out in committee. And then 2 hours later, I was in Eagle, and I pointed out that their Eagle budget, they proposed slashing our environmental protections of the state by 50%, cutting 50% out of the funding for environmental protections. So not only did I point this out with all the cuts from the federal government, how scary this is, but I also pointed out the hypocrisy. They say they want to save the taxpayer monies. And I pointed out with the help of the House Fiscal Analysis, these are restricted funds. It's not saving anybody money. The permits, oh boy. Okay, quick. I got kicked off appropriations. The speaker kicked me off. So I'm standing up, I'm speaking up. I now no longer serving on appropriations because the speaker couldn't handle my messaging. I'm gonna keep doing it, keep calling it out. And the other quick news, a point of pride, I just found out I was scorecarded by Turning Point USA as an official tyrant in the scale.
I told you, it's a badge of honor. I think it's a badge of honor. Okay, federal, state, county. County, who from the county wants to come up and speak? Penny Luebs, come on up.
Thank you. I love Natalie. It's hard to follow Natalie, but I just want to assure you that at the county, we're continuing our work with services for people. Our student loans, our medical debts, our helping senior citizens with housing. we're starting a fun new program called Community Places, working with MEDC. So any city, village, township would be able to apply for $50,000 to MEDC. The county will chip in $10,000, and it's for a placemaking program. However, Royal Oak or Clawson or Troy would define their placemaking, whether it's a sculpture or a trail or something to improve your park or bike lanes. But our work goes on as usual. We are dedicated to serving you and helping others in our community. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. I'm Charlie, our county commissioner for Royal Oak by Beaumont and a few other places. One thing I just want to quick shout out before my time starts of the 1 minute is Reverend Scott. Shout out to Reverend Scott, who has been working with me and several other people at this church and at his church, St. Luke's in Rochester Hills, to fill the gaps that the county has not filled for providing legal aid and food aid to the thousands of immigrants in our community that need help desperately. So shout out Reverend Scott. And there are flyers and posters on the back table. If you want to get involved, you can talk to either of us. If you want to donate for food or legal assistance, there's a legal aid clinic we're doing in Pontiac Public Schools on May 16th. Again, something the county could and should be doing, but is not doing. Second, I just want to lift up the tension in the room that I felt when I walked in and also when Chair Woodward talked about the recall. So So first, Chair Woodward drew the district. So he represents a 60% plus Dem district. There will never be a Republican in this district because Dave Woodward made sure of it because he drew the lines. And that was all legal. But I just want to lift up the line about there being a Republican. Your cousin Ian drew the lines. The 60% Dem district that Dave drew for himself and represents will always be Dem. So if there's a recall, there can and should be another Dem. Because I also want to lift up, instead of coming up being defensive and accusatory and disrespectful of all these people that are mad, I think what you could and should do is apologize and take ownership of the decision you made, because a lot of people are mad. A lot of people are mad, and that anger is valid. So just listening and being a human with other humans to serve your community, I think should be what you do next, instead of defending yourself and saying you'd stand by a decision that scares people. They're scared. They just want to be heard and seen.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. No other county? All right, city? Anybody from Royal Oak or Clawson want to come up and speak? Please come on up right now.
Hello, Tom Club. Okay, I'm going to take my minute really fast. And I want to highlight Dave Woodward for a second, because all the W's we've had since he's been in office have been amazing. I mean, I've been here since 2020, and I've seen that we made sure we had water that's filtered in all public schools. He made sure that children were getting free breakfast when they weren't doing it at the state level. Now, thankfully the state's doing it now. Dave Woodward and the county commissioners did that way before they were doing it. In Royal Oak, we have Nobody Oaks. That's $1 million investment in one of the I think our largest park, which happened because of Dave and the county commissioners. And we're doing that all across the county now. Dave has continuously advocated for progressive democratic politics, and he's done a great job at it. And also, every elected official in this room, including the ones who might not agree with him, have also been elected because Dave has helped. He's brought other people up. So not only is he doing the great work at the county level, he's also bringing up the rest of us with him. So I can't say enough good things. So I'll pass it on to my friends here. I got to sign up for a precinct delegate and then go to a soccer game.
Okay, it's 1 minute. 1 minute. We only have 1 minute. Okay, so April was Earth Month. And if you're in environmental, you're very tired. So we kicked off the month with Earth Day in Royal Oak. We had 75 vendors. This event started with 10. And so thank you guys for coming out and sitting at a table. We also celebrated Commissioner Gontina's house being LEED certified. I hope that his house will be an education piece and inspire all of us to do more with our homes and fight the climate crisis. We also celebrated Earth Day. Royal Oak has been on the Tree City USA designation for the past 50 years every year, and we have planted 750 trees, and we do this annually. We also celebrate a community park cleanup. We have 51 parks that make our community vibrant and a place that we all want to live, and volunteers came out and cleaned them. And I just came from Save Soil Walkathon, which is talking about soil health and how that helps all of us. Anyways, the thread of all of this is that we know, I got it. Oh, we know that these challenges are very complex, and we won't achieve perfection or at the timeline that we want them to be. We would love to move much quicker, but I do know that it's all of us working together that will make we can rise up to this challenge. One thing I want to promote, because there's a lot of folks in this room that care about this, we have a residential food waste drop-off program expanding on Monday, May 4th. Right now, you can drop off at the farmer's market, but come Monday, you can drop off at Soldier Center, Senior Center, Compost Pickup Center, Golf Center, and Zucker Park, also known as Exchange Park. Okay. So I'm going to pass on to my colleague, Commissioner Bud.
We need to rebuild it. On and on and on. There's a lot of work going on that.
I'll make it quick. Good morning.
There's a lot of work
on the
going
theme of
on
sustainability, I just want to highlight a couple of projects the city's doing
transforming
and
the
taking some meaningful
processes
steps
of
to move
government. Now,
forward.
this is like
There's an
important.
EV charging
Not the stuff
project happening at City Hall as part of our sustainability and climate action plan. One of the goals is to convert our city vehicle fleet over to EVs, but of course we need the proper infrastructure to be able to do that. So we have a project to install EV chargers at City Hall that's taking a very meaningful step forward in terms of having the engineer take on some additional scope for the planning efforts for that. So it's not just a theory, it's not just a hope, it's something that is moving forward to hopefully prepare our city better. The other project I want to highlight is the library solar project. Same thing, we have brought on the expertise to help manage that project. It's a very complex project. If any of you have ever gone through a home remodel of any sort, you'd be grateful for that. There's expertise that are being brought on board to make sure that project happens appropriately and
January 21st, when I walked in,
just want to highlight those two things. I'll hand it over to my colleague.
we had
Thank you. So really quick, part of sustainability is not just environmental, but also economic. To that end, the mayor just signed a proclamation at our most recent city commission that May 3rd through 9th is Small Business Week. So please get out, do your shopping locally, support your small businesses. They're important to everything that we do every day. And above and beyond that, the candidates are a bunch of candidates are going to come up and speak after us. It's not that long ago that I was a candidate. Running a campaign is hard. Standing up for your community and making sure that people are well represented is hard. So all of you, I see you, I appreciate you, I thank you. We all owe you gratitude. And listen, we can all back our own candidate in the primary, but let's not cannibalize each other. The only people that win when we cannibalize each other as Democrats are the Republicans.
everybody. This was something
come together. We come together after August 4th. Whoever wins, and we support the Democrats in November, because that's the only way that we take that Senate and the House, and that's the way that we all win.
We got it done. We took office January 20th, 2021. It wasn't until November 2021 that we got that.
Love all of the great
things of course, at that point,
we don't come to these meetings regularly. How do we get updates
already?
Know about what the city is doing?
City Hall website on Facebook, romi.gov. Our city staff are promoting this city as much as we possibly can. It sounds like a question you know the answer to. Come on up. You're an elected official.
No, I couldn't find it on the website. I was trying to show it. I know we have. Honestly, I don't know. It will be promoted. It's in your insight. It's in some of the things that come out to your home. But they're going to start promoting the food composting or food waste on Monday. And the new website
is coming. New, more easily navigable Royal Oak, Michigan website is coming.
And we did not plan to wear our jackets together, but I always appreciate us matching.
Yes, we did plan it, and we made sure that Brandon didn't get the memo.
Now, there have been some people who've been hired in this administration have to figure out what to
Hi,
do about
I'm
that.
Meredith Peltonen with Clawson City Council.
Well, when I
Thanks.
worked in the Obama administration, I was part of.
Last meeting, I mentioned we needed some support for Councilmember Rinkovich, who was getting harassed by a lot of people that are not even in the state of Michigan or the country. She has since resigned due to that harassment, and we will be interviewing candidates on Monday, tomorrow at 6:30. And then on Tuesday, we have our meeting where we will vote on Monday at 6:30. Yes, I am. Thank you. And then Tuesday is our meeting where we will vote on our flat contract, whether to renew or not. So that's what's going on in Clawson.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Heather Rinkovich has spoken to this club before. She was a grassroots Clawson person who helped keep Clawson's council democratic, and then she got on that she felt was right, and then she started receiving death threats. How in this world can we do this? I just don't understand. This is just politics. There's no reason somebody should feel scared about that kind of stuff. All right, school board, come on up. Okay, Tim, come on up. Why somebody coming up? Maryanne's coming with me.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Ciechorski. I'm the president of the Royal Oak School Board. And you may have seen many things on social media talking about our school district and our superintendent. The school board is not forming a change.org petition to get rid of the superintendent. We'd rather like him. We hired him. We'd like him to stay. Some of the things you've probably read are that students are leaving in droves because of the administration and the school board. That is completely not true. At this point, last year, we had 80 less students registered for our school district. Our student count at this point, at this time of the year in registration, is 80 students more than we had last year. Don't think that means we're losing students. And I had another point that I don't remember.
The information about teacher schedules.
Thank you. You may have also read that teachers are leaving in droves. Our retirement and our resignations are exactly as expected and exactly as they were last year. You may have seen a few extra people retiring a little bit earlier than you are used to seeing. We, for scheduling purposes, offered an incentive for teachers and administrators to notify us of their resignations or retirements a little bit earlier, just to help us plan for next year. This is in no way any sign that teachers are leaving because of what we're doing. Superintendent is doing. And anyone have any questions about those two things? Excellent.
Well, you went in the back.
Oh, you know the answers already. You're there.
Don't you think that the superintendent has done like a really great job and all the schools being able to be seen in the hallways fairly often and meeting with students at lunches like once a month?
Yes, so I think the superintendent and his visibility and his dedication to the district is exceptional. And so is Deb.
Question.
The things that I've seen online, the superintendent is proposing changes to the schedule that is using block scheduling, that is limiting teachers' autonomy and how they teach.
Tim, can I speak to that?
As a former teacher, I'll
Yeah.
turn this over to Treasurer Cook.
Yeah, I'd like to grab this question just because I was an elementary teacher for 25 years. And so I can say that the scheduling that has happened was, in my opinion, long overdue. So for the teachers already are teaching those length of blocks. There are no children who are sitting for 90 minutes straight doing any sort of, like lecture, listening, doing, worksheets. That's not how it works. When you say you have a 90-minute block of literacy, then they're doing things where they're doing a read aloud, and then they're doing guided reading groups, and then they're, doing something where they're doing a turn and talk. There's all sorts of activities that are involved in that. Sorry. Oh, sorry. There's all sorts of activities that are going on when you're talking about math. You know, many of us grew up in the age where it was worksheets and drill and kill, right? These kids are using manipulative. I mean, it's like an industry trademark term almost, you know. And so, you know, now students are working with manipulatives. You know, it looks a lot more like play than it does, you know, like students studiously, you know, writing down their timed math tests. And so the amount of time really has not changed. The thing that has changed, and that I think that it is a really good benefit for our classrooms, and that much of the feedback that we got had been calling for, is for there to be a schedule, a master schedule, so that, for instance, we have all of the teachers at a certain grade level getting their prep time at the same time so that they can collaborate. It's so that the times that teachers are teaching, for instance, ELA, are staggered so that our support staff can come in. Sorry. Yeah, okay. So that, you know, we can get resources into classrooms. The scheduling has allowed for our specials and preps teachers not to have to go from school to school, but to have one school that they are dedicated and based in. Yes. That may be more than a minute, and that I would probably bring that over to
Yeah, we'll just,
to
you guys
Trustee
know how to reach us.
Jasinski.
We know that this
Yep.
is a long meeting.
But I guess, yeah.
I do want to have sign up.
Okay, but I guess just to kind of put a bow on it, I do think that our superintendent has hit the ground running. I think that he has put in place a lot of initiatives. He's very dedicated to the education of our students. He's very visible. And I think that when change comes around, of course, there are going to be questions. But we think that this superintendent is doing right by our students. We are asking the questions. We are, you know, doing our due diligence. And so I hope that the community will, you know, come to board meetings, you know, will listen to the things that we have and
Thursday the 14th.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sorry, IB is super important. We don't want to overstay our welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for your support of the school bond, though. If you want to be involved, there is a Vote Yes Facebook group that you can join and find. And then Maryanne also has a sign-up sheet if you want to help us communicate this to our community, knock some doors, or make some calls on behalf of Vote Yes.
Thank you. Right. Thanks, guys.
And Deb Anderson was here. All right, now candidates for office, federal, state. Jeremy's going to be here already, so you can stick around and talk to him. Candidates for office, state. And yes. We have Melanie, Macey, and Dave Lauer coming up right now. Who wants it first? Whoever can run up here first gets it. Dave Lauer.
Good afternoon now. Oh, no, not quite afternoon. Good morning still. Name's David Lauer. I'm going to be your next state representative for 6th District. While this is my first time stepping forward as a candidate, it's not my first time serving our communities. I've been instrumental behind the scenes for over a decade in federal, state, local, and judicial races, building campaigns, supporting candidates. I've advocated for many years on Capitol Hill for our public education system, affordability, nonprofit security grants, voting access, and to combat anti-Semitism and hate speech that's rampant in our communities nowadays. I was just recently in the House advocating against anti-gerrymandering protocols that have been seen in our prisons. For those of you who don't know, gerrymandering in prisons, that is when we displace people from their hometown, put them in groups into prison encampments in either, Jackson or other facilities, and it throws off our voting system and leaves us prone to kind of prejudicial treatment for our candidates. So what I'll say is I'm very amazed by this group. You've ushered in the next generation of Democrats here. You have youth here. It's amazing. And what I'll say is it's time to usher in the next generation of candidates. I'm stepping up to be that candidate. We cannot vote for just someone with a D in front of their name. We cannot vote for the status quo. It's what gets us exactly here where we are today. I know this group is receptive to this message because you're putting in the work and you're making change. I'm that next generation of candidates stepping up. I thank you so much.
Thank you. Melanie Macey. I'm also running for the 6th district, which is most of Royal Oak and Birmingham, all of Berkeley and Huntington Woods, and a part of Beverly Hills and Southfield, and a sliver of Bloomfield Township. So it's great to see you here today. I am fresh off my kickoff event on Thursday, which was fantastic. Thank you for everyone who came to that. I really felt the energy of the room, talking about not just winning my race, but winning all of the races in November to make sure that we are bringing a trifecta back to the state and we can get work done in Lansing. I'm running on the experience and the expertise and the established relationships that I have that I'm bringing to this role. I'm not running because I need a job. I'm running because I'm well positioned for this role, for this job, to represent 90,000 people in Lansing. I've been an elected official for 8 years at Royal Oak, a city of 60,000. I've been a leader on the library board. I've been a leader on the DEI initiatives in the schools, on the PTA. A lot of things. I've also raised 3 children and volunteered in 1 million community events. And I know what a big job this is, and I know what the trust and high expectations that you have for your representative. And we've had that in Natalie Price, and we were so lucky. She's such a champion for us. She speaks so loudly, truth to power, that Matt Hall got tired of covering his ears and had to kick her off appropriations. And I'm proud to have her endorsement in this race. To get across the finish line, I'm going to need your help. I do have a sign up if you are interested in helping knock doors. I'll be out every day. Look forward to working with you and seeing you all after. Thanks.
Natalie Price, current state rep, running for state senate. You might think I brought 2 of my fellows up just so I could get 3 minutes, but actually, I wanted to tell you uniquely about 2 opportunities to come out and engage with the campaign that they are planning, that they are organizing. So my fellows have each done a capstone project using all of the tools, and a lot of you chipped in and helped support my fellowship program. We pay them when they're out with me on the doors, when they're making calls with me, but we also pay them for all the training that they had to do to get good at these jobs. And these 2 fellows each picked a unique, fantastic project that they are organizing, designing flyers, making contact, doing outreach on those projects. So I'm going to put them on the spot and make them each tell you about what they're doing. These are both events that are going to be coming up in Royal Oak, so add them to your calendars. And if you're worried you'll miss writing it all down, you'll be able to find all of the details at votenatalieprice.com for these and all upcoming events. So Bobby, share your events.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. My name is Bobby Young. I've been coming to this club for a little bit. I'm one of Natalie's fellows. I'm a junior at Royal Oak High School. And so basically, my capstone project, what I was mainly thinking about was how to get people mobilized and get people knocking doors, which is a huge part of my job currently with the fellowship. And going into the job, I really had very little experience in door knocking and canvassing. And it wasn't really until a canvas about last month when I was with Natalie, where I got to work like right alongside her. I got to see how she approached the doors that she was knocking, how she was talking to the people, how she was moving the conversation. And I really felt like if I had that experience before, I felt like I could have been making more meaningful connections to the people who's answered the door and who I was having my conversation with. So my capstone project is going to be hosted at my house, 1318 Lloyd Avenue, Royal Oak, Michigan. And it is going to be a canvassing training event / canvas. So people will be coming to my house. Natalie will be there. She will do a presentation on how to canvass. We'll have people practice with one another. And then once they are all done, we will send them all out into my neighborhood and we will get out and knock doors. It is going to be on May 24th from 2 to 5 p.m.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lydia Lawrenson. I'm a senior at Royal Oak High School. Me and myself and Bobby are also part of the
high school Dems. We've had the pleasure of doing the fellowship with Natalie. It's been a great learning experience. So for my capstone project, we will be hosting at Star JC Park in the Pavilion in Royal Oak, May 18th. It is a precinct delegate and community organizer conversation and forum. So what that will mean, there will be food and drinks provided. You'll have the opportunity to come. It's from 6:30 to 8 o'clock after work, hopefully not to take too much of your time, but it is supposed to be a formatted conversation. You will have the opportunity to sign up on Mobilize. It's a very widely known kind of platform to be able to sign up for these events. There's also opportunities to canvas and do phone bankings on there. So you will see the sign up there and you'll have the opportunity to list some of your local concerns and points of conversation that you would like to bring to address with Natalie, as well as our guest speaker who will be Robert Wittenberg. So this will be a wonderful way to continue to have more community conversations like this on a more smaller and scaled down level. Ooh, I can see why it gets intimidating. I hope you can be there. You do not have to be specifically a community organizer, but if you are, that is even better. Bring your family, bring your friends. It is a conversation. These conversations that we have here are what keep our minds moving and what keeps local politics active and empowering. So I hope that you can continue to support us and support Natalie and support the fellows in our Move for Change and local empowerment and awareness. So thank you.
Thank you. Come on up, Luke.
Hi there. I'm Luke Gray, representing the Amanda Treppa for State Senate campaign. That's the same seat that Rep. Natalie Price is running for. I just want to give a really quick campaign update. Amanda wishes she could be here, but she's out knocking doors. We were actually knocking doors earlier this morning. And I got a jet right after I'm done talking because I got to go meet her out on doors again. But yeah, races are won and lost in May and June. So meeting people at their doors, that is the #1 priority for Amanda. It's how we're going to stay ahead in this race. And we're excited to run through that red tape on August 4th. But other than that, I just wanted to thank everybody, thank the room for the support. We had a super successful fundraiser on Thursday. No corporate money, no utility money, just people-powered dollars. And we're just very excited because Amanda's been fighting DTE at Detroit Action for years. And I'm very much looking forward to her bringing that fight to Lansing as your next senator. Thank you so much.
My bad. I called for federal offices and I saw Dan Ufford standing there and I'm like, I didn't call on him. I apologize.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Dan Ufford running for CD11 as well.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Don Ufford, and I'm an engineer, husband, a dad, and I'm running for the U.S. House of Representatives right here in Michigan's 11th Congressional District. And I'm not taking corporate PAC money. I'm not taking utility PAC money. I'm just working for you and all working people here in Michigan. I worked at Ford Motor Company. After Ford, I went out to work in the Biden administration in the U.S. Department of Commerce to bring jobs here to Michigan, semiconductor manufacturing here. And then I went over to work in the Biden White House on the EV transition and clean energy, because clean energy is important and we gotta have it here. But Trump came along, the chaos, confusion, corruption. I had to leave and stand up, raise my hand, and run here for Michiganders. So I'm running to build things here in Michigan, to make sure we got good union jobs, good innovation jobs so we can grow the economy. #2, protect our health care. Absolutely critical, making sure we have a strong public option to buy into Medicare so everybody has health care. #3, lower costs. Lower costs, these crazy tariffs are driving costs up on everything. We got to stop it. We got to care for working people, and we need to protect our freedoms. We need to make sure we're protecting reproductive freedom, we're protecting voting rights, and we're protecting the right to speak up, speak out, and be Americans. So if you will stand up with me, join the crowd. We need to expand the Democratic Party right here to overperform for the entire state of Michigan, for the Senate and the governor. Let's go Dems.
All right, who else do I have pending? What other candidates have not spoken yet need to speak? Any other candidates need to speak? We are done with candidates. Wow, we are running a great time. Oh wait, who else? Oh, I'm sorry. Judges, I forgot about judges. Come on up, Victoria King. Not being judgy here. I'll give you an extra 5 seconds. Sorry about that.
I'm good. Judges are nonpartisan, which is important to reach out and make sure everyone understands your message, just so that you can meet them. And that's why I'm out at the libraries meeting people when I was gathering petitions. I have to admit, I'm going through a little bit of PTSD because I'm used to walking up to someone and saying, "Are you an Oakland County resident? Will you sign my petition?" I did submit my petitions. I'm just waiting to see how they fare it out. I have currently been endorsed by 18 judges, both sitting and ones that have retired. One from the federal level, one from the Michigan Supreme Court, 2 from the Court of Appeals. There are 12 from the Circuit Court and 3 District Court. So the nice thing about that, they run the gamut in terms of their backgrounds. I do the job working at the courthouse. That is my job, judicial staff attorney. They know I know how to do the job. They know I know how to work the system and be in behind and how to make it efficient. And I guess that's the way, not the right word to say work the system, but I know how to make the court efficient and how to read the documents, how to make the decisions that need to be made, that are made based on the facts presented, the law as written, and to come out in the end with the best result for the family, because it is a family seat. It is hard making those tough decisions. I did it for my dad, and I think that's a very important thing to know. When you're making a decision for someone else, it's not always what you want. It's what's best for the children in this case. It's what's best for the litigants. It's what makes the decision the hardest. And if you can make those tough decisions, you'll be a good judge. And that's what I want to be for this Oakland County. So Oakland County Circuit Court Judge, my name is Victoria King. I have cards in the back. Not only that, I have a website, I have Facebook. Feel free to join and learn more about me. It is nonpartisan, so flip the ballot and vote for judges. They make a lot of rulings in your lives that make a difference. So make sure you look at them, research them, learn about them. This is the best place for you to learn about me. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else? I'm missing anybody that needs to speak that's candidate for office, nonpartisan or partisan. Okay. We should make sure that we are very knowledgeable before we go to the ballots, both in August and November, about the other side, so that we can also educate the people around us. So on the email, make sure you're on our email list. I'll make sure I get you all the websites you need to do all your research before you even go to the poll. A couple other things I want to talk about. Memorial Day parade. We do the one in Royal Oak every year. We need people to walk with us. We have our big banner that we walk with. We'll have flags. We're red, white, and blue. Check out our email. I'll give you the details. We line up. It's on Memorial morning, the 25th. We line up at 8:30. It's on Main Street, south of Lincoln. And the parade kicks off at 9 a.m. sharp. So make sure you're there. May Social Night is Thursday, May 21st, 7 p.m. North End Tap Room. We've done it there before. Great venue. We might play games again because we had some fun playing games last social night. Check out your email also for a party that's going on in June. It's called Dance for Democracy. And one of our members is throwing it, and she doesn't want to just throw out a blanket invite because she wants to make sure it's core Democrats that want to be part of it. So email the club about that as well. Club t-shirts are on for sale. Right back there. Grab them on your way out. And does anybody have any new business they want to talk about? Let's start with one.
Under a minute.
Under a minute.
Hey everyone. Outside of school board, I do a lot of gun violence prevention in our community and across the state, and I want to invite you to a really great event that we've got coming up. I think it's already been in emails because Carl's an excellent partner supporting these things. But the statewide organization that I work with, and Gun Violence Michigan, is hosting a governor candidate forum on May 16th in downtown Detroit. It's at the Cathedral on Woodward. This is a C3 event. Every single governor candidate was invited, and Benson and Swanson are the two that are appearing. So you can take what you want with that information. But we are really, really excited to have this really issues-focused forum. There's a lot of things that are on the ballot. There's a lot of things for people to talk about. But this is a dedicated
2 hours where the candidates are only going to be asked questions about gun violence prevention and community safety and the things that they're going to commit to do for us as a state. And then it's going to be followed by a really wonderful resource fair and opportunity to get involved if this is an issue that you care about. It's free, but we do want you to RSVP because we have limited space and we just want to make sure that we're ready for you. So should be a really great event. It's in the afternoon on, and I'd love to see you there. So thank you. There's flyers on the back table. Thank you.
And I have it in our email as well. And I put it on our social media. If before you leave today, if you don't get our email, but you think you should be, make sure you see Deb on your way out. She'll be at the table. Just let us know. This is your email address. I'm not sure if I'm getting the emails correctly. Larissa, what did you have?
I don't know if everybody's aware. I just wanted to kind of share it in this forum. I'm a member of a DEI committee at work, and through that work, I learned that there was another DEI executive order that came out of the federal government, out of the president's office on March 26th. This is addressed. The title of the executive order is addressing DEI discrimination by federal contractors. So if you think about who's a federal contractor, that's almost every level of government would be in some way engaged with the federal government, receiving dollars or funds. There's a lot of nonprofits that provide services on behalf of the federal government, whether it's mental health or health services or other kind of screening services. This is really impactful. Even if you think about Staples, they're selling supplies or office supplies to the federal government. This really hits so many people, so many different companies and sectors. So I wanted to share that with you because it's much more impactful than the January 2025 executive order. And some of the kind of the highlights of it, it's really a little bit stunning. So it calls out mostly on race and ethnicity. So it's really just blatantly discriminatory. But it really prohibits some of the things that it's talking about for purposes of this order. Racially discriminatory DEI activities means disparate treatment based on race or ethnicity in the recruitment, employment, contracting, program participation, or allocation or deployment of entities' resources. So if you have a program that is encouraging or mentoring African-American engineers at your company or anything of that sort, that's deployment of resources. Some of the things that they put under program participation, membership or participation, people, or access or admission to training, mentoring, or leadership development programs, educational opportunities. This is illegal, people. Clubs, associations, or similar opportunities that are sponsored or established by the contractor or subcontractor. So not only is it that the companies themselves that are federal contractors, but anybody they subcontract to. They have to maintain records. Contractors and subcontractors have to affirmatively state that they will engage in these activities. There's a paper trail that is auditable, and there's serious implications. If you haven't heard about it in your companies, in your organizations, in your levels of government, it's happening. This is really effectively killing diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. I don't know how they survive this. And I also don't know a lot of litigation that's happening around it. I think there's something that's happening on the East Coast, but I don't hear our corporate leaders conferring with one another and saying, how is it that we fight this? How is it that we use our power in Washington, D.C. to push back on it? So just something I wanted to raise. I don't have a solution to it. Listen, I'd love to have a solution, but this is just something I feel like people will not necessarily agree on. That came out end of March. So the executive order, March 26, 2026. By the way, they moved this week to fast track its inclusion in FAR, which is the federal administrative, is it federal? FAR? It's like basically the regulations that govern how it is that you administer your country. So it's really far-reaching. You know, they killed it at universities already, but this is just really another.
Thank you, Larissa. Anybody else have any more? Charlie.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance in my 1 minute, but I have the flock contract, the letter from the ACLU urging us at Oakland County to not vote for the flock contract, and other documents if you'd like to see them if you have questions.
Okay. What's the difference between MAGA and us? We have empathy and kindness. Let's make sure we're showing it to each other and to those out there, because we're different than them. Motion to adjourn. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We don't do good welfare. We just do new business.
Something that's concerned me, I voted absentee in the November 24 election, and I happened to be out of town and got a call from the clerk in Royal Oak saying they didn't like my signature. And I came back to Michigan, a guy knocked on my door that was from California, and he had a list of 10,000 people whose signatures were being rejected. And he originally grew up, he said, in Berkeley, and he's part of an organization that came to Michigan. But does anyone know anything about this, or should this be on our radar? Or where did they get the original signature to compare the signature on my absentee ballot?
It's your driver's license where they get that
Okay,
from.
I was at the Secretary of State the other day, retitling some cars. And you know, when you sign, you just kind of, it's like using your finger nowadays when you use a charge card and they hand you a screen. So I think it's something that we need to look into, and I just wanted to put the word out.
All right, thank you for that.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Wait, I have a comment about ice out.
Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on one second. One more.
Okay, sorry.
We'll tell, right? One more. It's 12 o'clock. One more.
Yeah, sorry. So I just want to quickly speak about ice out. So I have to, everywhere I drive, I have to walk around with this document. Does anyone know what this is? A passport. Why in the hell are we living in a nation in a time where I, as an American citizen, have to drive anywhere in Metro Detroit with a passport? So I heard David, one of the speakers on my table, saying that all politics are local and that the local government and local jurisdictions are going to protect us. There are a guardrail. So what we're asking our county commissioners to do is put up some guardrails to protect all of our local residents. If you want to scan this, or if you want to visit ice out of oc.info, we have 6 asks that we're asking Woodward, Penny Luebs, and Charlie in terms of what they can do to protect all of our residents in Oakland County. So wants to make sure that all Oakland County residents are protected. Thank you. Who wants to make sure that I don't have to, or anyone that looks like me has to drive around Metro Detroit with a passport? And can I ask all of you to?
You got your minutes.
Okay, my minutes up. So thank you so much, everyone, for letting me. I have the scan. Please see me afterwards, and I can speak to you about all of the different asks that we're asking our Oakland County commissioners to protect all of our residents here at home.
Thank you. I have a motion to adjourn.
Paul, if you'd like to hear more about it, I'll be here afterwards. Thank you.
Motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Second? Oh, Deb. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we are going to be at, in 1 hour from now, we're going to 12 Mile and Woodward, the northbound side, north of Woodward, right for the Shrine of Little Flower. Protest from 1 to 3. Come on out. We have some extra signs if you want to do it with us. We got a lot of horn honks. It's actually a fun time. Oh, parking, by the way, parking, do not park in the Shrine of Little Flower. Church, please. Park on the residential streets. There's lots of parking around. I have a motion. Do I have a second to adjourn? Second. We are now adjourned. Thank you very much, guys. Man, thank you for that.